Stories are important. Since pretty much the dawn of mankind, stories have been a way to convey powerful emotions, and in the present day they are more important than ever. TV, media and video games are just a few ways in which we tell stories today, but they're in so many things if you look closely enough. Think about politics and political campaigns. The whole aim is to paint the picture of a strong, trustworthy leader through what is essentially propaganda, and advertising, which uses stories to try and get you to buy stuff that you don't need. Like, you know those fast food adverts? I'm sad because I have no friends. I will be friends with you. Yay. Anyway, stories are important, but my favourite way to tell a story is through a song. Most pop songs of today use stories in some way, but I want to focus on a particular type of song, which I classify as a story song. A song that continuously tells a story throughout and resolves with the song. Try and think of your favourite story song and let me know in the comments because I'd love to discover more. But anyway, my favourite musical storyteller is a band called The Divine Comedy, or rather the man behind it, Neil Hannon. Neil Hannon is an acclaimed songwriter who has written for the likes of the 2005 film A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, as well as more recently Wonka. The song that inspired this video is a song called Our Mutual Friend, written by Hannon. So let me break down my idea of the perfect story song. Also, if you enjoy, subscribe, we're going for 1,000 by the end of the year. Our Mutual Friend tells the story of a man who meets a girl and gets along with her, only to find that the girl is interested in their mutual friend, hence the title. The song mentions the mutual friend subtly throughout. Our mutual friend introduced us, we talked in the back of our friend's car, and follows the same cha-cha chord progression. Until...
But all I found was her, wrapped around another lover. No longer then is he our mutual friend.
It is so satisfying, the way in which the orchestral instrumental goes fully as it is revealed who the singer's girl is wrapped around. Aside from the obvious things, there are some smaller details which make this song so special to me. For example, in the line, we talked about the noise and how it's hard to hear your own voice above the beat in the sub-bass. On the word beat, the percussion starts.
Above the beat and the sub-bass.
Another thing is how the lyrics are cleverly organised. For example, the opening line not going straight into the story, but rather being, no matter how I try, I just can't get her out of my mind, immediately intriguing a listener. I love this song for many reasons, but let's break it down into a few key points before comparing it to a more highly regarded artist. Point number 1, structure. For example, how the song starts and the reveal at the end. Point number 2, how the music supports the song. For example, when the percussion comes in on the word beat, as well as later on in the bridge when the chord progression changes to signify a darker tone. Point number 3, the lyrics and the way in which they're used to build a scene. For example, the mutual friend being subtly mentioned throughout. With these ideas in mind, let's compare it to a song written by the #1 artist in the world, Taylor Swift, called Nobody No Crime. The reason I've chosen Taylor Swift as an example is because I'm always hearing about how great her lyrics are. There's something about like a cardigan, like being rhymed with something silly. I don't really know, to be honest, but yeah, so I thought I'd check it out myself, and I was pleasantly surprised. Nobody No Crime follows the story of the narrator's friend Esty. The first verse tells us how Esty suspects her husband to have a mistress before introducing the chorus. All 3 choruses follow roughly the same line, I think he did it but I just can't prove it, only differing in the third by changing who thinks who did it. The first chorus refers to Esty's suspicion towards her husband's loyalty, however the second chorus takes on a completely different meaning. As in the second verse, we find that Esty has been killed, so the chorus refers to the narrator's suspicion towards Esty's husband. Then we get a bridge that builds tension, before dropping the fact that the narrator has killed Esty's husband, fully unfolding in the third and final chorus.
She thinks I did it, but she just can't do it. Nobody no crime.
Anyway, I've expressed my appreciation for this song, but how does it compare to Our Mutual Friend, the first song I discussed? The first thing I noticed when listening to No Body No Crime is that it has a more typical pop structure, in comparison to Our Mutual Friend, which opts for instrumental breaks, giving the effect of really being taken on a journey, although the tense of the song tells us it's a retelling of events. I could go through many similarities and differences, but instead I think I'll just answer the question, which do I think is better? In my subjective opinion, Swifties, please do not hurt me, I prefer Our Mutual Friend. Jokes aside though, this is genuinely a subjective opinion, as I think they're both great songs in their own right, but for me there's just a few things that I prefer about Mutual Friend. The reveal at the end is just unmatched, and I also just really like Neil Hannon's voice. I think the best way I can describe Taylor Swift's voice is inoffensive. Now let me explain, I promise. It's an okay opinion to have, please. Just bear with me on this one. Being the biggest or one of the biggest artists in the world, it's important that you appeal to as many people as possible. And so, it's a bit like Mr. Beast, for example, before the allegations, how he would try and express as little opinion as possible to avoid alienating a potential audience who disagreed with said opinion. The same thing applies to Taylor Swift. If she had a slight quirk about her voice that some people didn't like, then that group of people wouldn't want to listen to her and she would have less listeners, which she can't afford. With that said though, I do like her vocal in the bridge of No Body No Crime, as I think it does have a slight edge to it. Anyway, I heard that using what we've looked at today, I can write my own story song. So let me quickly refresh the 3 points from earlier. But first, really quickly, my EP's coming out September 27th. It's my first proper project. It's taken me almost 2 years now, and I've literally put everything that I've been able to give to this project for the past 2 years. So please, I'd really appreciate you pre-saving it so that it does well and stuff, and listening to it when it's out. Back to the refresh of the points. Point 1 was the structure. Point 2 was how the instrumental supports the lyrics and the story. And the third point was the lyrics themselves. I don't want to say all that stuff again from earlier. If you want to check the examples, you can go back and look. But I just want to quickly talk about my story song, because I've already written and recorded it by the time I'm filming this. So just in reflection, it's an abridged version, so it's like 2 minutes long, when if I were to make it a full song it'd be 3 or 4 minutes. I've just cut out like instrumental breaks and stuff, so that you don't have to sit through any more of me. But yeah, and I'm really happy with the ending. I stacked 15 vocals up and it turned out really well then. I don't think it's anywhere near as good as these two songs, obviously. But I've done my best and I'm happy with what I've come out with. So without further ado, let me play you my story song called Richest in the Family. Ambitious and self-esteemed, young Remy stood in front of me, knowing nothing but his dreams. Nice food and a pinball machine, a black Porsche from '83, and to earn more money than Aunt Felicity. Bathing in the fruits of life, young Remy bounding to the heights of all he set out to achieve. A business-minded father to pull the strings, well-connected parents are everything, as Remy continues to follow his upwards trajectory. The day is old, the night awaits, gets out of the taxi, and Remy turns to face busy streets, the long walk ahead, to return to the family manor. Thinks familiar thoughts, looks left and right, then begins to walk, but from round the bend, a drunk driver in a Porsche, too late to brake, and he hits our friend Remy full force. Remy's dead. Felicity returns as the richest in the family. Remy's dead. All of the money, futile have moments, for him is dead. Felicity returns as the richest